Okay, I think that we're ready to start. We've got some people on Zoom and we're so happy to see all of the rest of you here. Hello, Zoom people. Couple of announcements. You know, last year when the pandemic hit, we chose to have reduced membership fees for the year. Membership fees, this is the last meeting of this year, so effective when the new officers take over, the membership dues will go back up to what they normally were. It'll be on the website. It was on the website anyway, but when you checked out, it gave you the reduced price. And hope that you will consider rejoining again. We're going to follow a procedure where you'll have a chance to come up again and look at the paintings. People who are have brought their paintings and their artwork will have a chance to tell you a little bit about them if they'd like to, and then you'll be allowed to vote. And during that time, remember that we have some cookies over here. We have some other snacks and bottled water, and we also have some really pretty decorated Crooked Creek Art League sugar cookies that we'll pass out to you. At the end of the evening, if there are other of the famous Amos or the crackers or the sweet and salty mix, please take some home with you if there's some left, because they're not going to last during the summer. I've cleaned the cabinet out one time and thrown away things that were out of date, and I'm not going to do it again. So, can you still hear me, Dale?
Yeah, Jenny, move.
I guess so.
Yes, ma'am. I can.
Good.
Hi, Dale.
Okay.
To
Sign me in.
over to Kay Fox,
No.
who is husband and who was
Got on.
in charge of the member contest for this year. Okay.
Thank you and welcome everybody tonight. We've got a good showing for our first in-person meeting in a long time. And I'm excited to see everybody's faces. What we're going to do, this year's contest with South Carolina Feathered Trends and Wildlife was the theme. And we're going to allow each one to come up. I'll call your name and you say about 2 minutes about your picture. Go stand next to your picture or whatever and talk about it. As soon as that happens, we get through, we will issue everybody a voting, and we got a basket of pens too, so you don't have to worry. And we'll bring those by after that, and you'll be given 5 to 7 minutes to walk up here, look at each piece, and then vote, and then we'll pass the box around for you to drop it in. Is that okay? Sounds good. Eileen Biedenbach, you're number 1. Can you stand by your picture and drop that?
Should we, if you don't mind,
Wait a minute.
grab your picture and bring it here so that people on Zoom can see it. Boys, what's your name? Okay, I'll carry it. That's good.
Okay, this is called the bait stealer. It is an egret. It's an egret who helped himself to the bait in the bucket right before a fishing trip and caused a trip for the fisherman to the bait shop. Because the bait had been gotten at right there in the inlet right during low tide.
Oh, yes.
Boat. Did I say colored pencil? It's colored pencil.
Carol Blackwood.
Watercolor. I was just playing around with letting it bleed.
You might need to say that again because you were far away from the mic when you started.
Oh, I said I was just playing around with letting my colors bleed to see what would happen. And I kind of like the flowers a little raggedy. But then I thought, well, I'll put a hummingbird in and So this is the end result.
Earl?
They know you're present.
I think so. And let me in.
I like to take nature
Did you put?
and
me
wildlife.
on?
And one thing that I
Not.
struggled with, just because it's hard to find sometimes, is an osprey. Osprey is also known as fish hawk, and this was taken downstream of the Lake Waterloo Dam. Now it's interesting, once they catch the fish, they eat the heads and take the rest of the body.
Get in the picture.
Mhm.
Get in
So-
the picture.
How do I get in the picture?
You have to move closer to me.
Oh, jeez.
That's why I say you could go on my iPad.
Let's not complicate it.
Okay, this is a white-breasted sparrow. It's watercolor. Believe it or not, it's done on board. And I finished it like I learned in that Russell Jewell workshop
It's close.
under glass.
There you
And I
are.
usually do my own pictures, my own photography and everything. But I saw this little bird on Facebook on a website that's free reference photos for artists. And Don Barrett posted it. And what he said about the little bird was it reminded him of the San Diego Chargers helmet. But I just fell in love with the little fella, so that's why I painted it.
JJ Casey? JJ Barbara's got.
I'll never. Right here. Thank you, y'all. I'm just getting old. Moving slow. She's out of mind. Talking there. The reason I chose this scene was my daughter from Colorado came, and we went down to Shem Creek, down to Charleston, which we love, and that's where this was taken. The pelicans were just all over everywhere, and they were sitting just 10 or 12 of them, and they looked like they were waiting on somebody to talk to them. So I did a shoot trying to get a couple of them moved so I wouldn't have so many in him. That was my interpretation of that. It's pelicans on Shem Creek. Thanks so much.
Willie Clark?
You see,
Okay.
Got all of them.
I started painting out water scenes and landscapes for the most part, acrylic. And a few months ago, I found out I could paint birds. So Brenda said I couldn't paint a bird. I paint a bird. But this is a red bird. We both love red birds. This is a male red bird. And the mama red bird puts to work sometimes. We're pretty lazy, but I like this guy here. He has some personality. And he's done it. Background here. That's it.
Alex?
It's hemp oil.
That works.
That was- This is my turtle friend. And by our house, there was a huge log with a bunch of turtles on it. And I ran down and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I started, taking photographs of all of them. And they were all jumping ship, except for this one little guy. And he sort of stood there very, the head, his little head up, and one flipper up, and I won't go down with my ship, and that's what I named it. I won't go down with my ship. He's cute.
Mary Colette?
It's a bluebird. We have bird feeders in our backyard because we have a wooded area, but this one found a berry bush. And I guess that's why it's so fat.
I think he's cuddly.
Yeah.
Jim?
This is my ocean scene. It's all made of metal. I hand formed all of these pieces and then welded them together. I like the ocean and I like the creatures that live in it. And I put a little meal up here for them because they actually eat jellyfish. And then these little pieces are all made of twisted wire. So I made the coral out of twisted wire, and this is copper. That's it. And actually, every color that you see is actually a different form of heat that I put onto the metal. So it's all natural coloration of the metal.
Cool. Oh, wow. All kinds of jellyfish?
Whatever jellyfish are in that area,
Whatever
but
they get.
that's their main source of meal, is like the jellyfish, and then they'll eat like the grass and stuff like that.
Wow.
Got another cardinal.
I took this in my backyard, perching on a persimmon tree. It's like a pretty cheerful cardinal. I like the colors.
Is that a photo? Wow. You can't tell.
I guess my goal is to always
That is.
get the eye in focus because that's what my husband has instilled in me. So this is Mr. Golden Eye Egret. He's a great egret. And that was my focus, is getting the eye in focus.
Nice job.
And next is Julie Martin.
Oh dear, I'll do it. I hope the easel doesn't collapse.
I haven't had a picture of it yet. This will be question before that. I haven't had that picture yet. Another place to put it.
We hold one side, you hold the other side.
Oh.
You want me to hold
All
one side,
right.
you hold that side? Come on in,
All right,
come on. So they can see you. Can you see me? There you are.
This is a collage. It's called Time Flies, and it is a vulture with a lot of clocks, and he is flying with them off into space, just like your time is flying as well. It is made all from magazines, carpets, curtains, flowers, of course, clocks that I cut out of magazines. Took me 6 months to make it, and it's not for sale.
Al Leach.
Al Leach.
Thank you, Barbara.
That's not very comfortable. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Good.
oh, look at me.
Okay, this was originally called the Wise Old Owls, and it was inspired by a poem. It said, "The wise old owl sat on an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. why can't we all be like the wise old owl?
Very good.
Also, I've enjoyed the paintings of Art LeMay over the years, where he has a series of ducks, or, you know, that thing. I think you've all seen those down at the Charleston Market. So I thought I'd try to do some owls. And so these are 5 different kinds of owls. We've got the short-eared owl, the barred owl, the snowy owl, the great horned owl, and the barn owl. And yes, the snowy owl does exist in South Carolina. It's rare, but it does exist. So anyhow, it's got 2 names, the Wizard of Hooterville and Wise Old Owls.
I know which one's the wizard.
What's that?
The snowy one's the wizard, right?
Yeah,
Is it pastel?
it's pastel. It's pastel. Yes. Try not to drop it.
I think I've seen that one once.
This painting is from Swan Lake of Sumter, South Carolina. When I was there, I saw this swan swimming like zigzag way and stop at the cypress stump, behind the cypress stump, and he was looking at me curiously, and I thought it's cute. And I took his picture and tried to paint and tried to show his wave the way he can. As a watercolor movie.
Joyce Oates.
That was Rogers, I think. Mhm. They're not announcing.
So you want it?
This is an oil painting. I enjoy doing lake scenes and coastal scenes. I enjoy birds, lake and coastal birds, and animals. I do a lot of commissions for people with your pets and with your children's portraits. But I just had fun doing it. Thank you.
That's pretty colored in the sky. Edie Ruth.
I got quite a few.
This is a watercolor that I did. I think the picture, the painting tells its own story that of a mother, Egret, and her chick. And I also like working with these colors. I thought they helped set the mood for the tenderness of the picture painting. Thank you.
Hannah Kay.
That's okay. I think that's.
This is a
Look at yourself, just
that
look
I
at-
did in ink. It's white ink on black paper and Prismacolor. I'm not happy with it because you can't see the colors under the fluorescent. If you're out in the daylight, it is wonderful. A wise old owl lived in an oak. The more he spoke, less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't you be like this old bird?
Bebe. You want help?
That's nice.
I call this one quit nagging. I worked from a photograph my son-in-law took at Conisty Nature Park in Greenville, South Carolina. He's a really good photographer. But I particularly like this picture because there are herons, blue herons,
And they seem to have an attitude. She seems to be nagging him over something. It just reminds me. He just looks like my husband to me. That's the way he describes our relationship. Ginger Robinson.
Well, this is digital photography, and I took this at Huntington Beach on a very, very cold morning. And first time I'd ever been down there, but all these little, I believe they're egrets, were
That's interesting.
just all huddled in the bush, and they looked like they were freezing. So I took several pictures of them.
Lisa Evergreen.
Can't get this thing to move.
This is a watercolor of an American bald eagle. And I just love bald eagles because of their strength and their mobility. And I've been babying this one all night long because of where it's sitting on its easel, but it seems to be doing fine. I hope I don't trip going back. I know.
Ruby Deloach.
This is strutting in style. My neighbor has started raising chickens, so she's got roosters that just crow. Reminds me of when I lived in the country growing up with roosters crowing. I really went up to my studio to finish 2 wood ducks that I started painting in watercolor. Got distracted and painted this. So well, it's fun. I'll just bring this button inside. It was acrylic, so it would dry.
Nancy.
This is my favorite bird, great blue heron. We are privileged to be on the lake and be able to watch these birds on a daily basis. They fly in, they look like something from the prehistoric time and land, and then they take off, and we get to watch them forage through the shoreline and for bugs and stuff. So I love painting these things because they're just neat. They are. Enjoy watching them.
Sound prehistoric too.
Oh, and it's in watercolor, and I named it I Spy because they're always also looking out. We have neighbors that have dogs. They seem to have one eye on the dogs and one eye on the fish or the insects or whatever they're going for.
Kimberly Case.
This is a photograph. It's of a duck. I call it Proud Papa. You see that he's very pleased with himself, and he's got his little egg there, and he's on this beautiful cushion, and he's just squawking, such personality. He actually belongs to a friend of mine. Her daughter came home with this duck soccer practice, and she said, "Mama, I found this in Reed duck and raised it." And your mother said, "Sure, we can put it in the yard and raise it." Well, it turns out she did no such thing. She didn't find it. She bought it at Tractor Supply. And her mom said, "Every time I look at that duck, I think it's lies. But anyway, his name's George, and he came to the studio and had the best time and quacked and pooped all over the floor.
Oh,
but
no.
it's cement, so I just washed it up. And anyway, I just laugh every time I see him.
Okay, did I miss anybody? Everybody's got a picture? Everybody's been up, okay. We're going to give you about 7 minutes and we'll pass these out and an ink pen, or you can come by and pick up one. And I'm gonna give you about 7 minutes to walk by and look at the pictures again before you vote. And then you vote, please. And when you get through, we'll pass these out. When you get through voting, we will pass the box. We'll pass the box. We can put the votes in.
Why don't we just put the box here? And then
All right, that's fine.
How many votes per person?
One.
One. Write the number only. Write the number only, because numbers is what I'm looking at. Okay? Number only on this, it says, on here it says, members' choice contest, artwork number. And it said, please only vote one. Only vote once, so please. All right. Go. You may go.
One last time. Okay. It's probably the second time I've ever used it. I know. All right. There's Kay's going to be counting the votes, and Brian's going to finish taking the photographs. You know, we've had a hard year. Last year this time we weren't meeting, and we went for a whole year without meeting, and we still had people to join us and things to happen. So, well, we're going to do a little tour type thing here. If you are currently, and you will be for the next 25 minutes, probably, if you are currently one of the executive officers, or if at any time during this past leap year, you served as a committee coordinator, please stand up. And stay standing.
Is that a volunteer type when you
No.
coordinated the volunteers?
It's the served on the board for one of the committees.
Right. Carol, you were a committee coordinator. Yeah. Okay, is Dee Dee through? Yeah, I'm standing up. Okay, well, let's give these people a hand because they stay standing. All right, I'm gonna read another statement. If it applies to you, then you need to stand. No, you stay standing. You should have, you had all day to rest. Okay, and if you're at home, you can raise hands or whatever. I will be able to see exactly the two people that I see right now, but the rest of you can probably see out there. Okay, if you are a guest tonight, or if this is your first meeting, stand up. Stand up. Stand, you have to stay standing. You have to stay standing. Okay. Now, those who are standing, if I say something that applies to you, then you are going to raise one hand. If you have attended at least one Zoom general meeting this year since September, stand up. And if you're already standing, raise a hand. Annika, you've attended a Zoom meeting. You did it at my house. Stand up. No, yours is a stand up. No, Dee Dee, you don't have to raise your hand yet. You just stood up, right? Okay, then no, you're just standing. No. The ones that have done both now are either a guest, and a member of the executive board, or a committee chairperson, or have attended a Zoom meeting. Now that once you're up, if it applies to you, you raise the other hand. If you don't have a hand raised and applies to you, then you will raise a hand. If you attended more than one Zoom general meeting. Okay? No, we're not. If you joined Crooked Creek Art League after February of last year, stand up. And if you are already standing, raise one of your hands. Good. You all follow directions so good.
She's having fun.
Now, if you have hung your art in one of our public galleries this year, now don't do anything until I tell you. In one of our public galleries and are not standing, then you need to stand. If you are standing, then but don't have any hands or arms raised, raise one arm or two. If both arms are raised, then you're gonna wave. One hand only. One hand, Jim. One hand.
Oh, I'm confused.
Got something. What? Something in the gallery? I did. It's not now. I don't
Yep.
think.
First one gallery, you can wave the other hand. Entered Still Hopes or the juried show. Raise a hand or wave. If you entered both of them, look at our hands going. If you took a workshop, either in person or Zoom. Good. If you took more than one workshop. Now, is there anybody who's not standing? If you're here tonight, now, everybody who's here, stop waving one of your hands, put it down, raise the other hand really high, pat yourself on the back. 'Cause you're doing a good job. Okay, now, I skipped, and I apologize for skipping Barbara because she had something important to talk to us about that is really exciting. So, Barbara.
One of my blood's flowing from waving everything. Yeah, I know, I need to dance. So I have, some of you who might have been in the league for a little bit know that a couple years ago, we did a big community art project. We did the sailboats all over Chapin, which was a lot of fun. Yay. Well, I have great news. You ready? You ready? Okay, I have a project for you for this summer. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, so the town of Chapin, it has asked us since we did the sailboats to do more art projects. And because of COVID, we didn't do anything this last year. We didn't do anything this last year at all. But we're ready to go again. And the town of Chapin has just recently announced that they are moving forward with something that they've had planned for a little while. They are officially beginning the opening process for a big, huge nature trail system. They're going to put in place 17 acres. It's going to have nature trails all throughout it. It's going to be a wonderful area for walking, big natural park. It's going to be right kind of wrapping around the back and the side of the Chapin Town Hall. Big, big operation, big grant from the National Wildlife Foundation, from Dominion Energy, and all these other things to put this huge trail system in. And they want art. They want art on the trail, which we think is fabulous. So they have asked us to partner with them again, and we are going to do that. I'm going to send out, and I'm going to send it out electronically to the website. It'll be by email. I'm going to bombard you with it. But we're going to do a new project. We're working out all the final details right now. We're not going to do something quite as big as the sailboat. So for those of you who are a little bit intimidated by doing a whole big sailboat, we're going to do something a little bit smaller. We've got two possibilities that we're still exploring the costing and the best ways to do it. One is that we will do posts, which this doesn't sound real exciting, but trust me, it is. No, so either round or square posts that are like about 4x4 that are going to be about this tall, that we will decorate completely with bright colors and all kinds of fantastic artwork, whatever your brain can dream up. That's one thing that we're considering. The other is to do all of these unique sizes and shapes of birdhouses. And so what will happen is we're going to decorate as many of these as we can get artists to help us do. Some of them will be placed along the nature trail, and some of them we will auction off at the Labor Day Festival like we did the other, although these will be smaller dollar things because they're going to be littler things. And all the proceeds from any that we do that will all go toward us funding one big art on the trail project, so which we will commission somebody to do some kind of a big art installation along the trail. And then the idea is they would like us to, that we would do follow-on projects to this, where we'll do some kind of similar, smaller scale thing that would fund another big one along the trail as we go. Initially, there's only a few miles that are open right now on the trail. It is open right now. If you go, it starts right beside the town hall, and you can go back, and it goes around a pond. It's kind of cool. It's not terribly long yet. They haven't opened the other sections yet. That's what the new grant is paying for. But we want to be supportive of that. Everybody in town, everywhere I go, constantly asks, what are you doing next? They want to see more artwork from us. They know we're here now. They know that we do great things. They know that we have great artists. They're very, very proud of us. They're very excited about us. And so I would really love to see us, and we've all been kind of stuck for a year. This is a great chance for us to get out and do something and get excited and get engaged again and have something new and wonderful to be a part of. So I encourage each and every one of you, think about it. It's not going to be a big thing. It's going to be something that's small and relatively easily doable that you can go crazy with, coming up with whatever creative ideas that you have about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it will produce a lot of really, really cool artwork. And so please watch for the stuff coming out. Let me know if you have any questions at all about any part of it. We are going to provide a stipend for the artists that will cover materials and a little bit of your time. I don't think it's going to take a huge amount of time because they're not huge things. To try and make it as enticing as possible. And then, of course, the big project we do, we'll pay somebody full out for that because it's going to be a big piece. So what questions do you guys have right now about any of that? I know I haven't given you tremendous details yet. That's going to be coming. But questions, reactions?
We could talk about buying the paint in mass. Are we still thinking about that?
Yes, Carol is asking a question about the materials. We had discussed, we still actually have a fair bit of materials that are left from when we did the sailboats and from when we did the murals, because it's the same kind of paints. We'll have to ask you again to make sure that you use outdoor grade, high preservation quality paints that will hold up outside, because these will be outside pieces. So we have a good bit of that art paint left that we will make available, and through the stipend, we'll cover more material costs to whatever degree they need to be done, and we will offer to do a group buy for more of that paint, so you can take advantage of a quantity discount and shipping shared and all of that stuff to make that easier as well. Jim. And Jim's question is, can he do metal? And I think the answer is, yeah, we would take any and all proposals for how to do it. He would have to tie into the other pieces somehow.
Oh, yeah, whatever you guys are designing.
Yeah, but this paint.
You're making birdhouses, I'll make a metal birdhouse, whatever.
We are artists. We want to be creative. So yes, we will entertain. What we'll do is we'll ask everybody to say, give us a proposal of what you would do. And it has to go into public spaces, so the normal caveats apply, you know. That, so Jim's question is, do we want to do something that ties to the nature of South Carolina specifically? And I think,
you know, there's trees, there's everything that has to do with South Carolina.
Yep. And I think what we'll do is we'll offer up the option for you to, if you want to, adopt an animal or a plant or whatever, and make that be the theme of your piece if you would like. So yeah, JJ's question. Flag, yeah. Right? I don't think they've voted on it, so I don't think we know what it is yet. Yeah, JJ was asking if we could tie it into the change of the state flag, but that's not been adopted yet, so I don't know how we could tie it to it, and we don't know what that is for sure yet. So, yeah, but I think, you know, if you wanted to do palmetto trees as part of yours, absolutely, you could do that, Dee. Well, my goal is to try and get the material, the proposal out so everybody could get us your proposals. I'm hoping to have that done in another week or so, and get it out to you, and we'll ask you to turn it around fairly expeditiously so you've got the whole summer to work on it, so that we'll have them ready to go by August. Okay?
Is abstract going to be acceptable?
Abstract is absolutely acceptable. Yes.
As part of this project, perhaps we could choose an area, and I'm just saying like pond, and have an example of like several turtles or whatever grows in the pond, lives near the pond, visits the pond, eats the pond, and make like a child's nature trail that goes around, and then they see, you know, here's turtles and here's 5 interpretations of what turtles would look like. And then you move along and there's a tree and you see red squirrels, black squirrels, whatever. But the idea would be, it would be a little something that the kids could kind of play hunt for, or treasure hunt, to see what they could find. And it would give more people maybe an opportunity to participate cluster of turtles that people had designed or sponsored or something.
Right, and that's Lois's question is to think about the possibility of trying to tie them together in some way where it could be a kids activity associated with all that. And I'm repeating all of this because people on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot of latitude to be as creative as we want to be. And we did talk about, I talked about with Nicole at Town Hall about tying to this in some way, some kind of scavenger hunt aspect where we would give them a map and they have to find the things that are hidden on the trail. So yeah, we're definitely talking about having that be a part of it. But in part, we won't be able to define exactly how that would play out till we see what we're getting, till we get all the proposals in. Because I don't know what we'll get.
Yeah, and especially if it's posts, it would be kind of hard, but if it was other things that you could physically, mount in the bulrushes or something.
Right.
Like on, it would be kind of fun.
Right, absolutely,
I have an
absolutely.
idea.
Yeah.
What we have historical significance things that were significant to the settlers, then as time goes by, and other things represent other dates and times.
That's a cool idea
It'd be
too.
I think it's so cool, like walking through a little bit in time, as well as seeing what's significant in nature at that time versus this time.
See, this is why they want us to do these things. We're so creative. This is awesome. So
I remember seeing the early settlers out Roanoke, Virginia, or a place like that, where plants that were significant for them to make paper and clothing, other things. And
Yep.
just to survive, you start with that and you move on to other things. We got to use this. And use
Yeah.
that. You do all sorts of stuff.
see, and that's what I think all of these are great ideas and options. And that could be, that could be your niche that your proposal includes is doing some of that. I mean, there's so many ways we could go with it. So I think it's a great idea.
We don't all have to be done in 1 year. I mean, we could
No.
say this would be something this year, and then next year, let's get some thought.
Right.
to one of the other ideas that was.
Right,
Like
it's-
raisins.
Yeah, and they have asked us to have this kind of be an ongoing thing because the trail, like I said, they've only got a little bit of it open right now, and they're going to continue to build out, opening more and more of it. So they want us to continue to add more to it as it goes. So absolutely doing various stages of that. And so if we do this year, then next year we might do some subset of that and so forth. And we won't stick to doing nothing but this trail from now on, but we could come back to it again and again as part of what we did. So. Cool. I love the enthusiasm in the room. Y'all, everybody who's on board. Yes.
Yes.
Woo! All right, I'm done. I think that's all I had to say. Was there something else I was supposed to talk about? Let me see. Oh, wait, I do have one more thing I need to say real quick. The Chapin, the town of Chapin does a farmer's market first Saturday of every month. Y'all know that?
No.
They do. It's pretty cool. It's right down on Clark Street. So they do a farmer's market first Saturday of every month in the morning. I think it's from 9 to, might be from 8 to 12, something like that. I don't have the right exact times in front of me. But they do a farmer's market every Saturday morning. They have invited that any and all artists from the league who would like to or be interested in coming and doing a plein air setup and painting during the farmer's market. They won't charge for it. They would welcome us to be there. They think that would be a cool addition. So if you have any interest in doing any plein air painting, you are invited to come, and the farmer's market and all the crowds and people will be there. So it'd be a fun thing to capture and paint. So if you want to plein air paint, just show up. You don't have to apply, you don't have to pay, you don't have to do anything. Just show up and do it. So JJ was first. They are doing the fall festival. I think it's the second weekend of October. Oh, they're going to do it back where it was originally, back by the coffee shelf. It might be right in front of the coffee shelf, or it might be behind there, halfway between TC and the coffee shelf. But it's going to be in that parking area somewhere. Farmers market is first Saturday of every month.
David Phillips has a plein air group. Is this strictly for us, or?
No,
should I
we
tell
can
him
share
about
it. We can share it. They've invited us because we're the local home crowd, but others can come. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to stop talking then. Turn it back over. Thank you.
I know. Well, as members, you have spoken. Start with number 3. Our third place in our May member contest, South Carolina Feathered Friends and Wildlife, goes to Miss Bebe White.
Show the picture.
Show the picture, okay.
Show the picture.
Okay. Bring it here. Gotcha. I hear you.
Oh,
This is her
okay.
husband. Don't- As I recall.
That's right, that's right.
And that's her with her mouth open.
The second place goes to Jim DiFrancesco. And
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
and learning all different colors come from different heats, that's impressive. So thank you, and as I said, you have spoken. May we have the drum roll, please?
Oh.
Can't get it off.
I'll get it.
Our first place by a landslide is Miss Maureen Carter. White-breasted chicken, white-breasted sparrow.
The bird.
Oh, white-throated sparrow, but anyway, first place, you have spoken. So very good. Let's give everybody a. And I want you to know that so many people, when they were doing this, they were saying, well, this is going to be hard. I know a lot of people got votes. It's just such a beautiful group of pictures and pieces of artwork. And a lot of time put into these, and I really appreciate you doing that. So thank y'all again for participating. And we move on to the next thing. You need to know that all of these pictures are remaining here until September.
Sorry.
They're supposed to hang in the tap gallery until September. So when we leave tonight, we're asking that you take them out there and hang. And so before you leave, help us hang yours up, please. Just make it easy for us, and we'll roll from there. Next thing that I've got here is something else everybody's been waiting to hear, and that's the Member of the Year. Okay.
Maybe.
I knew I had it. Our Member of the Year was hard for many to choose because of all the candidates were so very deserving. The candidates were Maureen Carter, Sandra Oliver, Kay Stallings, and Barbara Tucci. You couldn't lose with any of those, in my opinion. Our winner has a sweet, calm manner. She uses kindness and reason when making decisions. She's diplomatic, organized, enthusiastic, and reaches out to make all members feel important. She led the process of putting together a plan for virtual board and league meetings to get us through COVID-19. She has been accessible at all times to any one of us that needed her advice. She has been our president for the past 2 years, and y'all know presidency was kind of a thankless part. It is with love, pride, and admiration that I announce this year's Member of the Year, Sandra Oliver. I would tell you not to spend it all in the same place, but with being a gift card, you have to.
Thank you. I
No,
appreciate
say
it.
something.
Thank you. It has been an interesting year. Yeah, it's been an interesting year to say the least, the past 2 years, and could not have done it without all of you, and I certainly appreciate it. Thank you. It's been an honor to serve.
Okay. Now, I'm going to turn it over for a minute to Alex with our new officers.
We worked tirelessly trying to decide who was going to be our new officers and our executive board and our committee chairs. And I think we came up with some pretty good ideas. So president will be Ms. Kay Fox. Oh, yeah, and please stand up. Okay, sorry. Vice President Deb Kelly. Okay. Secretary Lainey McWilliams. Treasurer Maureen Carter. Come on, stand up. Let's go. And parliamentarian Sandra Oliver. Now, we've discussed, we have a new non-voting position on the executive board, webmaster. It sounds like something Harry Potter or something like that, but it's really not. We're proposing for it to start the 2021-22 league year. And this change will be brought before the membership at the September general meeting for approval, which requires, of course, 2/3 members in attendance as per our constitution. And Ms. Barbara Tusing is going to be the new webmaster. That's very Potter-ish, it really does. Okay, so for our 2021-22 committee chairs and coordinators, chamber representative, Ms. J.J. Casey. Community Art Project, Barbara Tusing. Fundraising, Mary Collette. Public galleries, all right, now let me get this. Alan Biedenbaum, okay, sorry, did I? Biedenbaum, okay, I apologize. Alan, okay.
Oh, okay.
Grant applications, me. Greeter Melanie Watt. Juried exhibit Kay Stallings and Lisa Alberghini. Membership Jean Kirkley, Ruth Tamira, and Rebecca Horn. Photographer Mr. Brian Fox. Film exhibition Will and Brenda Clark. Technical setup and support, James DiFrancesco. Workshops, Sonia Dimler. And we still, because of next year, we are probably, hopefully praying that we're going to all have our general meeting out there with everybody. We are going to need a refreshment coordinator. So if somebody would like to do it, please let us know. It doesn't take a lot, because all you have to do is maybe make a few phone calls and ask people to bring stuff. So it's not really that hard, but you know. And thank you everybody so much for voting and for doing this for our executive board. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next is door prizes. Come back. And says, yes. I know I did.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna take care of this first.
Ooh, boy.
Our first door prize goes to Mary Correct. This is.
Oh, there she is.
All right, you got to see Maureen.
Oh, do you want her to do it? Do you want her to do it?
No, I want you. I gotta use you for something.
Excuse me.
Is Noelle brought here? Nope. Gotta draw them.
Tell them to put the getting so that they don't.
Oh, you're gonna get a gift card, a $10 gift card to Amazon, and she will send it to you in email. Melinda Smith, We're trying. I'm trying. Linda Eckers. Come on, grab a good one. Stephanie Arnold. Are we counting the ones? Sharon Weber. We're trying. Ingrid Carson.
Keep going.
Rose Stewart. We're trying.
Draw everyone in there this time.
Myrtle. And let's see. Nope. Amy Coonsey. Nope. It's one of our new members.
Yep.
Brand new members. Nope, I can tell you she's not here. Olga. I've looked. Janet Edens. Nope. Laura Mays Rosser. Another new member. Karen Jamras. Geez, I'm gonna run out. I doubt it. Wick Stewart. No, come on.
Statistically, this is important.
Joyce Oates.
Joyce is here.
That's the three right there. That's the three. Wait a minute. There. He's going to winning. That don't matter. It's last one. Right?
Last one.
Okay, and we have one more presentation that I'm ready before I sit down. And I'm sorry it's taking me so long, but this is the gift to our president, who has served us for 2 years and been with us, and as I said, been accessible. Everything I said a while ago still stands. Sandra, would you please come forward? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You can just wait a second too. I certainly appreciate it, and I am handing all of this over very confidently to this lady right here. So Kay, I'm giving you, I kept the other book because I'm not as smart on parliamentary procedure as Barbara is, so I'm gonna have to keep the other book. And because Sonia gave me 2 of them. And so I'm gonna give you that book and your gavel, and the meeting is adjourned.
Hey, and these flowers over here for you.
And don't forget, oh wow. Don't forget to go hang your paintings and take cookies and crackers and stuff over there, please.
And thank you to everybody on Zoom.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.